How'd you like the showers when you started?
The showers were very interesting in the sense that, you get that gasp reflex almost immediately. It's like, and I found after about 30 seconds, and, I try to move around a little bit. Um,
Hmm.
it's just not the same experience as being fully submerged, but I think as a starting point, it's probably a good way to do it. And I imagine most people who graduate from the showers would say that there is a difference when you're fully submerged.
Yep. I
Yeah.
feel a difference. I also started with cold showers, and I'd read a book say cold showers are going to toughen you up, and I'm like, oh, I want to be tough. That was like 10 years ago or something, and I hated every minute of every cold shower I have ever taken. It wasn't until maybe 3 years ago that I found a paper. This is
Mhm.
coming out of Finland, like all the best work on thermal contrast therapy, and they compared partial cold water immersion to
Right.
whole body. And they found that the partial will activate the gasp reflex, the sympathetic division of the central nervous system. So that's the fight or flight, but it'll never give you the
Yeah.
dive reflex.
Yeah.
And it makes sense. You're standing in the shower. Where are
Yeah.
you going to get the dive reflex from? It's the dive reflex, which leads to
Mm.
parasympathetic dominance, which strengthens that vagal tone, some people call it. That's the rest and digest system. That's when your brain waves go down into a more meditative state. That's when your heart rate goes down, when that feeling of calm comes over you. One of the things about the ice bath, Andrew Sheridan from Drip Therm pointed this out to me, is that it breaks our expectations of stress over time. He says if you're on the treadmill, first 30
Mm.
seconds, no big deal. The first minute, no big deal. You don't start to get winded and feel the stress of the
Yeah.
treadmill until
Yeah.
time goes by. And it's the same thing with almost any other workout or stressful regime. You're going to do, I don't
Yeah.
know, shoulder presses. You begin to get fatigued and it gets
Yeah.
hard at the end. He says the ice bath is different. Even sauna starts out
Yeah.
easy and gets hard at the end. But he says the hardest part of the ice bath is when you
Yeah.
first get in. And so you get that gasp reflex, that sympathetic response. And because all the other stressful experiences in our life get worse over time, panic sets in. Not because, we're fine.
Hmm.
We're
Hmm.
cold. That's fine. But we're thinking, oh my God, what's it going to be like 30 seconds from now? What's it going to be like a minute from now?
Yeah.
2 minutes
Yeah.
and I'll just be dead. I have to get out
Yeah.
before it gets any worse. When you retrain the brain and you realize the worst part of the ice bath is the 15 seconds before you even get into the
Absolutely.
ice
Yeah.
bath,
Yeah. Yeah.
where it's all in your imagination. And then you hit your target, whatever it is, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, and you're like,
Yeah.
what was I worried about? What this isn't so bad. Hey, toes, just hang in
Yeah.
there for a minute. This will be fine.
And it's funny when I first started doing it, I would sort of gradually get in, but I learned no, you just step in, and within 2 seconds, I'm up to here. Because if I go slower, the brain and the mind is like, do you really want? But you get in, you get through those 15 and 30 seconds, you relax. And what I really enjoy about it is I'm not a big sauna person because I don't feel comfortable with a racing heart rate. So when I get in it,
Hmm.
it gradually drops and I get so relaxed after about 40 seconds in the cold. And I enjoy that sensation more than sort of being in a sauna where your heart's kind of really.
You are correct. No matter how far you go in at first, let's say you only go into your belly button and then you sort of control your breathing. You're talking to your body. You're using little mantras to bring down your anticipatory anxiety. My favorite, this is what cold
Yeah.
feels like, and everything's cool. And now, every time you go in a little bit further, you want to go from your belly button, let's say, up to your nipples.
Yep.
It's another reactivation. It doesn't matter how far you went in first. If you go in a
Yep.
little farther, your sympathetic nervous system will come
Yep.
right back and bite you in the ass. You will feel that gasp reflex all over again. You're up to your armpits and you want to go up to your neck and you're going to do it all over again. So you can go through a protocol of gradual if what you want to do is
Right.
pendulate between the
Yeah.
sympathetic and the parasympathetic, the sympathetic and the parasympathetic, for me, it's like torture. I just want to, I go in, I head
I
dunk
noticed
right
that. Yeah,
away.
from your stuff.
You know?
Yeah. Yeah. I might try that though. Yeah.
And then, well, part of it for me is I get bored. I don't have all day to sit around, in ice baths. My mind does start to wander. I suck at meditation. The thing about going super cold, like I do it 33 degrees, is you don't have
Yeah.
to stay in there very long. I just do two
Yeah.
to 4 minutes. Before Morosco, when it was exactly what you were talking about, you get a trash bucket, you get a Rubbermaid, you get like a stock tank, and you fill it with the hose and you pour ice in there. Before there was a machine like Morosco that could make its own ice and stay at 33 all the time, it was exactly what you said. People would, they have to spend half an hour, 40 minutes, go to the store, get 100 pounds of ice. And it's really hard to get
Yeah.
the water temperature down into the
Yeah.
mid 30s when
Yeah.
you do it that way. So, maybe you're at like
Yeah.
45 degrees and there's a mentality to get
Yeah.
your money's worth. I just spent
Yeah.
all this on
Yeah.
ice. I just
Yeah.
went through all this trouble. I'm going to stay in there for
Yeah.
40
Yeah.
minutes. Know? So this is the way that Jack Cruz started. And when he first started posting about cold plunge therapy and the way it improves your leptin sensitivity, the way he was doing it, there was no
Mhm.
Morosco. He was doing it exactly in this way. And the protocol was adapted to the
Right.
technology
Yeah.
that was available. So you're going to do 45, 50 degrees, and you're going to stay in there for half
Yeah.
an hour, 40 minutes. Now we don't have
Yeah.
to do it that way. 2 to 4 minutes, freezing cold. And then I move on
Yeah.
with my day. Um, when